everyone, I'm Meg. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm a classically trained pastry chef, a wife, and a mom of two. I've worked in famous bakeries, Italian truffle sales, and in the wine world. Like you, I'm super busy with my job, my husband, and my girls, so I like to make cooking as fun and easy as possible. Here, I'm going to teach you how to bake and cook without a fancy degree. We'll pair wine with meals, good coffee with cakes, and everything in between. So grab a cup of coffee, pour a glass of wine, or sip on your favorite beverage, and I'll meet you in the kitchen. Hey everyone, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Today we're gonna make my roasted red pepper sauce, and I'm gonna elevate it by making it with pan-fried gnocchi and crumbled sausage. It's so easy, it's so delicious, and I think your whole family is gonna love this, but your Valentine especially. We're gonna pair this dish with this beautiful Brancaia Super Tuscan. It's a Sangiovese-based wine out of Chianti that is so delicious. It's gonna pair perfectly with this dish, and I'll tell you more about it later, but let's get started. So we're gonna take 2 bell peppers. This is like medium, large. We're gonna put them on a roasting sheet, and then half of a large Vidalia onion, and just take the skin off, and I don't know what else. I was like off to a hot start, now I'm a hot mess. Like I was saying, you're going to chop the onion in half, and then take the skin off. And then you'll just add that to the roasting sheet with the peppers. Once I have the half peeled, I just chop that in half again, and I'll add that to my roasting sheet. I use a small sheet. This is fine. If you want to use a bigger one, that's fine too, but it doesn't need space. Everything can kind of just sit right next to each other. And I'll break this in half just so it will go a little faster. And now we're just gonna put some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, over the top. And I do that pretty generously because it's the base of your sauce. So you do need some olive oil for the fat in your sauce. So it's perfect. And then I just sprinkle a little bit, a pinch or two of salt over the top. I did a pretty big pinch there, so that's plenty. And then this goes in the oven on 375 for probably between 30 and 40 minutes. We'll check it at 30. I want the pepper to be pretty soft, and the onion's gonna get a little bit charred, which is where all that flavor is gonna come from. All right, so we've got the peppers and the onions roasting in the oven. And while that's cooking, we are going to cook up 1 pound of pork sausage. I got parsley and Parmesan, get whatever flavor that you like. And then I took this out of its casing. If you want to see a tutorial of how to take this out of its casing, go check out my cannellini bean and chicken sausage soup right here, and you can see how I do it. It's kind of gross, but anyway, whatever. So we'll go ahead and cook this until it's all crumbled, and this is gonna be a topping on our sauce and our gnocchi. It's gonna be delicious. Girls just got home, so there might be some noise in the background, but we're gonna go ahead and make our red pepper sauce. So I roasted the red peppers for about 45 minutes on 375, and they turned out perfectly, nice and brown, and the skin is gonna come right off, and the onions look perfect. They're nice and soft, they've got a little roast on them, and that's gonna give all the flavor to our sauce. I'm gonna take off the skin of the pepper, which I have these cooled now for an hour or so, so they're easy to peel. But if it just came out of the oven, just give it a few minutes so you don't burn your hands, because a lot of steam will come out of the peppers. So I'm just gonna take the skin off. Once it's peeled, then I just put the pepper into my immersion blender cup. This is the Cuisinart immersion blender, and it came with this, which is perfect because it fits right in there and keeps it all mess free. I love this immersion blender. It's honestly a cheaper version, and it's great. So I'll link it below. All right, so my 2 bell peppers are in the immersion. Sorry. Hold on one second. I know I'm making dinner right now. So my 2 bell peppers are all peeled and in my immersion blender container. And then we take the onion and put that in as well. So nice and soft. And then I actually try to get some of the juices and olive oil on there as well. So I'll just kind of move it down with my hand, see what I can get. And that's it. So before I start to use my immersion blender, I'm gonna add a little bit of chicken stock. I made 1 chicken stock cube with 2 cups of water. I boiled that. And then I'm just gonna pour in about a quarter cup of a quarter cup of chicken stock into this mixture. And I add 1/4 cup of sour cream as well. I like the sour cream. It adds a little bit of like creaminess and a really nice flavor to the sauce as well. Once that's all together, we go ahead and emulsify. You can add a little bit more liquid too. You're going to add most of this liquid as you're cooking it, but while you're emulsifying, it's just nice to get it so it all comes together and breaks down the pieces of the pepper. Now that this is emulsified, we're going to go over to the stovetop with this and the rest of your chicken stock, and I'll show you how I put my sauce together. All right, so my sausage is all cooked, and I got it nice and golden brown. And then to build my sauce, I'm going to start by heating a tablespoon of tomato paste and let that cook with a little drizzle of olive oil. Once that's just warmed, we're going to add the sauce that we emulsified. And then I gently whisk that together with the tomato paste. And then as you can see, this sauce is pretty thick. So I'm going to add a little bit more chicken stock just to thin it out. I'll let it cook for a while to cook off some of the chicken stock, but it'll still be quite thick, just not quite as thick as it is right now. So all in all, I'm using probably about a cup of chicken stock, if not a tiny bit more. And you can, this is kind of to preference of how you like your sauce. I think that looks perfect. So I used a full cup of my chicken stock. And then to season my sauce, the chicken stock cube does most of the seasoning for me. I like a little bit of red pepper chips, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon, and then fresh cracked pepper. And then whisk that together and let that cook for like 5 minutes on medium heat. Okay, so that's been about 5 minutes. It's looking perfect. I'm just gonna add about 1/6 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Let that go in. And that is ready to add to our gnocchi. We're going to combine that with our sausage, and that will be our sauce for our skillet and gnocchi. And then I did drain this sausage just so it wasn't as oily. So a little bit of the oil is incorporated in here, which is good because we didn't add much olive oil to the sauce at all. And then this can sit on low heat while you fry up your skillet gnocchi. Now we're ready for our skillet gnocchi. We put 2 tablespoons of salted butter in our frying pan and let that melt. I use the Giovanni Rana skillet gnocchi, and they get so crispy golden brown. They're so delicious. Now that that is nice and sizzling, we're gonna add our gnocchi, and we just constantly move it around for 5 minutes until it gets golden brown. Now, after 5 minutes on high heat, these are beautifully golden brown and they're ready to plate. Now the gnocchi are nice and crispy and that gorgeous sauce is on top. I like to top mine with some grated Parmesan, a little bit of shredded Parmesan, the more Parmesan the better, some black pepper, and because I like everything spicy, a little bit more red pepper chips. What a beautiful Valentine's meal. So easy to make. It's healthy. It's elevated. It feels a little romantic. It's kind of pink in color. So we're going Valentine's. And this is going to pair so beautifully with this wine. This is called Brancaia. It's from Chianti, which is in Tuscany. And it was a Swiss family in the 1980s who was a very under the Tuscan sun situation. They found this property. It was for sale. It just happened to come with 3 acres of vineyards. And here they are how many years? 45 years later, still making wine. Their daughter now makes the wine. It's a Sangiovese blend. It's 75% Sangiovese, 15% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 15% Merlot. So they call that a super Tuscan when you get those blends of Bordeaux varietals. So it makes it a little bit plusher. Sangiovese can be quite like crunchy cherry. Merlot and Cab help it to be a little bit more plush, a little more fruit, and it's just so beautiful. It pairs really well with tomato sauce. It also is going to pair so nicely with the red pepper, showing that bright acidity and kind of playing up on some of the spice that I put in this as well. So I think it's going to be the perfect pairing. You can definitely find this in stores. It's delicious. It's not very expensive, and I think you're going to love it. So let's try it. Delicious. Make sure I get a bite of sausage in here as well. This is so freaking good. You're gonna love it. Your Valentine's gonna love it. Your whole family's gonna love it. Enjoy and happy Valentine's Day.